See shadow, it's all I know. Tell me now, where did you go? I lost the light, looking your eyes. I come you down, let it shine. I see shadow, it's all I know. Tell me now, where did you go? You go.
Hello Taurus, welcome to your June 2019 reading. I am Princess India. If you are new, welcome to my channel. If you are family, welcome back, my friend. So we're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' reading. Won't take up too much of your time. Oh my gosh, I just threw a dice of resonance. Oh my goodness. And it landed on Scorpio. What's going on with that, Taurus? What's happening? But anyway, we're going to jump right into you guys' reading for the 1st through the 15th of June. So we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance for my Taurians. What is this energy that I'm feeling, Taurus? What on earth? The first word that came to my mind was undone. Undone. It's very odd. I would liken it to being pushed out on stage. It's like being an understudy, right? Theater terminology. It's like, okay, you were cast in a Broadway show, but you're not the lead. You're an understudy of the lead, right? So you have to learn all of the lead's parts in the event that the lead actor gets sick or something like that. So of course, you learned everything that you needed to learn as an understudy, but you kind of rested on your laurels a little bit because this person is so committed and dedicated to this position, right? And it's so much of an amazing opportunity. It's like, who would let that slip past them? So even though you learned all of the parts, you know all of the cues, right? You knew the opportunity would never come that you would actually put it to use. And it's like now suddenly somebody told the lead to break a leg and they literally broke their leg. And now you're standing behind the curtain and everyone is pushing you. And they're telling you, you have to go on now. And you're like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. We ain't talk about all this, right? It's like I feel undone. Like I'm half-baked bread, so to speak, is the energy that I have. Because literally as I'm shuffling the cards, it's almost as if my breath was taken from me. Like it's like, what do you mean? And it's like that. I'm undone, meaning that that's a mindset. You've done the work, but I'm not ready, but you need to be ready because now it's time for you to step out on stage and do what it is that you've been preparing for. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know, Taurus. I'm just the messenger, okay? Are you a Broadway actor? Am I going to get some tickets? Just saying. Look, I'm not wishing that on the lead. I'm just saying. That's what Spirit showed me, okay? I don't know what's up with that, Taurus, but it's feeling undone, but I'm assuming what it is that Spirit wants you to know in all of this is you've done the work and you're done. You know what I mean? You're ready, you're prepared, you're equipped, and you're qualified. So get on stage, babe. So anyway, I guess we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance, but Spirit then already gave us a whole scenario in this piece. So I don't even know if that's going to be intricately related to this reading, but hey, maybe you needed to know it. But we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance, anything that Taurus needs to know, anything of the most important, Spirit, I ask that come to the forefront in this here reading. I also ask that you give me the ability to interpret these messages in a clear and concise manner, please, Spirit. And as always, I thank you in advance because I know you're good for a dag nabbit son of a gun. I said, Spirit. Dang it. God dang. All right. So let's start with it. I nicked my shirt. The audacity of you, desk. My feelings are hurt. The audacity. Anyway, we're going to look at first the energy between you and a person of interest. That person of interest could be anybody. It's usually romance. First card that we have is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Underneath the deck, we have the Four of Pentacles. Yes, Taurus, I can tell you, it's much like what I was saying. There's a need to trust in yourself and your ability. You're gifted, you're talented, you have a lot to contribute to the world, and I feel like people tell you this all the time, but it's more or less hoarding your gifts, which is so funny because I had this conversation. I cannot believe I nicked this shirt. That really hurts my feelings because it's making me want to throw it away. That's how serious I am about, like, when things get ruined, like, let's just throw the whole shirt away. It's my problems. My Taurus is coming out. Anyway, that might be my Gemini rising. I don't know. But anywho. But I had this conversation earlier with my friends, though. We were talking about, we have really great conversations. We were talking about, like, gifts, purpose, talents, things of the sort. And I was telling them a message that Spirit gave me about a week ago in reference to our gifts and talents, right? So when we have gifts and talents and we don't utilize them, right? Because it's like we're like a vessel, right? Like a channel for divine love, unconditional love, whatever you want to call it. And every single last one of us has gifts. Every single person with breath in their lungs has purpose. Everyone does, right? It's up to us whether or not we cultivate it. With the Four of Pentacles energy, I'm seeing something that Spirit was showing me, which was like spiritual constipation. Y'all gotta love my metaphors. It's like spiritual constipation. And it's like energy constipation. It's solar plexus issues, right? It's the root of bitterness. It's the root of resentment. It's the root of envy. It's the root of jealousy. A lot of those things come from this place. And that's when we cultivate glass ceilings in our life that prevent us from being all that we are, right? And that can be either because of self-defeating thoughts, poor self-concept. It could even be, somebody stealing from you. It could be like in a literal sense, whether it's intellectual property or actual property. You know what I mean? It's like Spirit is an energy of flow. It's constant movement. There is no stagnation in life ever. We can perceive stagnation, but stagnation does not actually exist. It's just a perception. Behind the scenes, Spirit is always moving, right? That's the energy of flow. Whenever you hear someone talk about entering flow, that's literally what it is. It's consistent movement, right? Now, when you step out of alignment with that, which means for ego-based reasons, I'm holding back because of fears that are intricately related to the ego, right? Not saying you shouldn't utilize wisdom, you know what I'm saying? But meaning you allow people to see a dimmed version of the light that you are for whatever reason. Being afraid of judgment, being afraid of theft, being afraid of hurting people's feelings, what have you, whatever the case may be, holding back what you are stagnates you. That's the Four of Pentacles energy. It causes that energetic constipation, so to speak. Now, when we hold on to energy, especially low vibrational energy, and fear-based energy would be low vibrational, the longer that we hold on to it, the more that it starts to turn into a heavier, weightier, matter-like energy, right? And that's where you get like Ten of Wands energy, where you're feeling like overwhelmed and burdened and downtrodden. And that's because energy that's not in motion, when energy starts to stagnate, like that's how we got these cool little meat suits that we wear, you know what I'm saying? It's like energy slowed down into matter, right? So when you're doing this energetically, it affects you to a point where it starts to manifest as those low vibrational emotions. You feel what I'm saying? So it's more or less holding yourself back for a self-protection because it's a fear of loss. So you're holding back or hoarding in energy because you fear losing something, and that in turn is dimming your light and having you guys show up as Queen of Wands in the reverse. So it's a dimmed version of your light, right? So the thing is of course to utilize wisdom, but not allow fear to dictate your choices, right? It's allowing yourself to experience the fullness of who you are. So when we're talking specifically time frame, I would say this is going to be the theme of the month, not just the first 15 days, but that's going to be the theme of June. You know what I mean? It's really reflecting back and seeing where you see that that's showing up in your life. I really need to move away from the edge of this desk, y'all, because I really like this shirt and that's really bothering me. What gets on Princess's nerves? When shirts that she loves gets nicked by desks. I feel like I need to. My head's cut off. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm with family, man. Tauruses aren't going to judge me. Right? Right? All right. Let's get into what else we got going on here. All right. We have the Seven of Wands. See, that's what I was talking about. That's that defensive energy. It's like, I'm trying to stand my ground and protect myself. Then we have the Nine of Wands in the reverse. I understand what you're trying to do. See the vibe that I'm getting? This is hypervigilance, and it's because something has been taken from you in the past. And you're still you're responding to present circumstances based on past experiences. So you're not seeing the situation clearly. It's more or less, in the past, I've always been taken advantage of. I'm always the one that gets passed up. I've always done X, Y, Z, and this always happens to me. And the decision that you made within yourself is to prevent that from ever happening is you are your own protector, right? So you stand your ground. You don't let nobody get close. It's my stuff, still with my stuff, my shirt that's getting nicked by the stupid desk. Stop making this about yourself, princess. But it's always being on the outside looking in of a situation. You've made the decision some time ago to protect yourself, right? But here's where the issue lies. The issue lies is that there's an imbalance, right? It's more or less, I always use this example when I talk about establishing healthy boundaries. Establishing healthy boundaries is 3 houses, right? You have one house that has no windows, no doors, no fence. Anybody could come in and out whenever the hell they want to, right? Then you have another house that has a 10-foot electric fence, has windows and doors. They got locks and deadbolts on the windows and on the doors. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't getting nowhere near that place. Then you have the third house, which has windows and doors and a fence that both lock and unlock, right? Those are 3 types of boundaries. The first house with no windows and doors, they ain't got no boundaries, right? House number 3, they have way too many boundaries. So there's no reciprocity in the fact you don't let anyone in and you don't ever come out. The third house is healthy boundaries. I have locks on my doors. I have locks on my windows. I even have a fence. But because there's a lock on it, I can lock and unlock, and I can allow people in, and I can come out at my discretion, right? The energy I'm seeing here, this is house number 3. I mean, house number 2, sorry. This would be house number 2. It's solo dolo. Reminds me of what I told myself when I was 10. When I was 10 years old, I was like, I made it up in my mind that I was going to be the only person that would ever help me. It's like, no one cares about princess more than princess. So if I ever need anything, I'm going to take care of myself. Made that up in my mind when I was 10. Didn't work out so well. You know what I'm saying? Didn't work out so well. Listen to me. Take my advice. I'm telling you, don't do that. But anyway, because that ends up blocking you from opportunities. There could be things that Spirit is trying to bring into your life through people, through situations, but it's looking at everything as something that you need to defend against that can prevent you. It keeps bad people out, yes, but it also keeps good people out, right? It keeps bad people away. It keeps people who could do harm to you away, but it also keeps the beauty of who you are away from everyone else. And I feel like that's a disservice to us all. You know what I'm saying? We want to know you because you're awesome. I'm just saying, you're a Taurus. Hello? What? Anyway, let's get another card for y'all and hop on over to your person of interest. Whoa, that jumped. Yeah, see this? The Magician in the reverse. That's the problem, my little pud butt. You guys are lessening your light in the sense that you're not stepping into your power. I think that on some level or another, this could be a little bit of mindset work that needs to be done because you guys are not seeing your greatness. Now, up until me seeing this Magician in the reverse, I wasn't really feeling this was related to the story that I was telling initially. But seeing this, I do very much see that. With the Magician in the reverse, I feel like you guys don't give yourself enough credit. And this is very much related to putting it into the energy of this Magician reverse and taking into account the vision that Spirit gave me in the beginning of the reading. It's more or less you're so used to defending against outside attacks or feeling taken for granted, playing small, showing up half light as opposed to full light, being so used to being on the outside looking in, that in an opportunity to where you can be all that you are, that's where that undone comes in. It's more or less sitting on the sidelines saying, like, if coach would just put me in the game, if coach would just put me in the game, I would show them that I'm good, da, 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 da. But then the opportunity comes and it's like, oh, wait, hold up, wait a minute now. I was saying hypothetically, coach. I didn't mean literally put me in the game. I don't know now. But the thing that I feel like Spirit really wants to reassure you guys of is that you're fine. This is more or less, it's like a test, but not a test. It's a test to prove something to you about yourself. And I feel that that undone feeling that you're feeling in that moment, that's something that's rising to the surface that needs to be healed. Because I feel like a lot of what acted as a barrier between you and what it is that you really wanted was more or less your perception. So kind of like the story I told you about me when I was 10, I totally forgot I had even said that until I was like in like my late 20s. And it was a conversation I was having, and I just gave y'all a hint. When I was in my late 20s, I just see that? I did it. Okay, anyway, moving right along. So I was a conversation that I was having, and I'm talking about something that was sort of kind of related. And I think it was something with my business or something, and like frustration with, I don't know, somebody I had hired or something. And instantly that came back and played like a tape recorder. And I realized that a lot of the reason why I was stressed out is because I didn't know how to ask for help. And I didn't even know how to allow other people to help me, because I had made it up in my mind when I was 10 that they weren't qualified. So before I ever hired them, before they ever came on the interview, I made up in my 10-year-old mind that they weren't qualified to help me. And that was a big light bulb moment for me. So that's why I bring that up, because that's like the same thing I'm seeing here. I feel like this situation has come into your life to show you, like, whatever this is that you feel that you're not prepared to do, it's here as a testament of how prepared you are to do it. It wouldn't be here otherwise, because we attract what we are. So whatever this is that's coming into your life is a statement and a symbol of the full light of who you really are. But that undone feeling, that is also here to show you a testament of how you've been playing it small. And I feel that there's going to be a great contrast between the two. You feel what I'm saying? So how it is that you're like the untruths about yourself, you're going to see how small you've been playing it or how small you've been showing up in life based on this false perception of yourself in contrast to this thing that you've attracted in. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like this is playing out like this to get rid of some little residual, like, false belief. It's like a little, you know how I always talk about roaches? Not literal roaches, y'all. I'm talking about, you know, my OGs know what I'm talking about. The roach. You know what I'm saying? The roach thing, you know, with the consciousness past wound type of thing. Yeah. This is like a roach. This is something, like I said, that thing, the mindset that I created when I was 10, based on my 10-year-old mind and 10-year-old experiences. That maladaptive thought process, because that's where things become maladaptive. When we make up our minds about life and people when we're children, in a child's mindset to protect ourselves or to survive in that particular situation, and we carry that mindset or that behavior into the present, and it's an adult that's still responding to situations like the 10-year-old, like in my case, right? But I feel like for everyone it's going to be something different, of course. But I feel like in the month of June, that's that encounter that you guys are going to be having. And it's going to revolutionize your life. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? This is like big healing that's about to happen. Like, this is like the thorn in your side. You know what I'm saying? Like that one little wound that we fear that can never be healed, you know? Or that little roach that's been hanging around that you weren't aware of. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, on to a person of interest at 21 minutes. I don't think you mind. You don't mind, huh? Oh gosh, I'm hearing a song. Is that Earth, Wind, and Fire? Do you mind? Na 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 till the morning light. Oh, what song is that? I know y'all gonna tell me in the comments. Ha ha ha. Love in my heart tonight. Would you? I don't know what song that is. I'm gonna find out when I finish this reading, though. Might have a whole dance breakdown. Anyway, on to Taurus's person of interest, please, Spirit. Anything that Tauruses need to know in reference to their person of interest, please, Spirit. Anybody. Anyone of utmost importance. And what's not. Oh, whatever. Okay. Your person of interest is stalking you. Merry Christmas. Don't say I never gave you nothing. Oh my gosh, if I nick this shirt one more time, y'all, this is going to drive me mad. I'm so angry. Stop moment in this piece. But anyway, so your person of interest is stalking you. I mean, not in a creepy way, but they legit lurking. They might be watching your extended reads and things. Next card that we have is the High Priestess in the reverse. They're trying to get their mind right, though. Good luck with that. And we have the Two of Swords. Interesting. Yeah, man. So here's the deal. With your person of interest, I would say that this is somebody that you are not communicating with clearly because they're watching you. They're watching you live your best life and things. But I don't know. It's something they're in possession of that you need. I don't know what that's about. It's something they're in possession of that you need. Oh, okay. It's something they're in possession of that you need. That also contributes to your feeling of feeling undone. I don't feel they're the sole reason. I feel that they're one of those experiences that we have in life that confirm those false beliefs that we have, right? So it's more or less, if I use myself again as an example, that, you know, the only person who's going to take care of Princess is Princess. Then I encounter someone in my life. I'm in need of something. Like, I don't know, I get a flat tire or something and I call a friend. They're like, oh, I'm asleep. I ain't got time. I have roadside assistance, but let's just say hypothetically I had no roadside assistance. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, I can't do it. I ain't got time. And then that would be that confirmation of that false belief of like, see, I knew it. Ain't nobody gonna take care of me but me. Better get to walking on this highway. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of something like that. So I feel like this person played a role in that. So the thing that I would say, what it feels that they're in possession of, it's more or less, this is going to sound strange, a sense of validation that you perceive this person took from you. And I say that perceptively because that happens a lot of times in relationships, or connections that we have with people, and things are left unsaid, or like say a person ghosts us or a person breaks up with us and doesn't give us like a clear reason as to why that the breakup happened, right? It leaves you with this feeling of unfinished business because, say hypothetically, if the person ghosted you, it's almost as if that action sends a message to you. And it sends a message of like, you didn't matter, or you're not good enough, or whatever. And if that's in alignment with a core belief that you already had, that becomes validation. So it's perceiving this person is in possession of something. Like they're in possession of something that you need, right? But again, this is all perceptive because the person didn't actually take anything from you. It just feels as if they did, or we're perceiving it that way. So it's more or less like that logic of like the dollar. I think it's funny the spirit is showing me where money is right now. I just saw where money is and I'm like, it's in between something, but I don't know where it is. That's interesting. I'm gonna find that when I'm done. But it's like that theory of the dollar bill, right? Or $100 bill. Man, where is that at? It's like I see what you're showing me, but I don't know where it is. It's not in my little thing. Dang it. I wanted to do an illustration of it for you guys, but I guess I can't. Because I don't know where it is. Where that money is, though. But anyway, so if you take a $100 bill and you crumble it up, you spit on it, you roll over it with a car, you let a dog pee on it, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. No matter what you do to it, that $100 bill does not lose its value, right? It's still going to be $100 regardless of what it's been through. It holds its worth. So the same with you, right? So it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what a person has done to you. Your value as a human being, how other people treat you, is never a testament to your own personal value and worth. It's never going to be that. You are who you are regardless, right? But that is something that I'm really in meditation about because I want a very clear answer on that. It's something that's been heavy on my heart for the last couple of weeks, just from different people that I've worked with and things, different readings that I've done, is the exuberant amount of value that we place on how other people perceive us, right? Which means, in essence, if we allow another person outside of us, if we let another person outside of us, if we allow their opinion to override our own, that's a problem, because that means that we value this person's opinion more than our own. Now, granted, in a psychosocial sense, of course, our tribe, our community is important. Like, there's a level of reciprocity and confirmation and validation that we need from each other. But when it comes to the point of, feeling worthless because one is rejected by someone, it's the thought of who is the someone and why is it that we give them that much power to determine who and what we are, right? So, waiting on my epiphany on that. When I get it, I'll get back to you. But as far as with this person isn't connected spiritually. If they are, they're literally not listening to their intuition. You know what I mean? And that's another thing where it comes to this whole value with this person. It's more or less like you wouldn't want to trust this person's judgment, you know, because I feel like this person is blind to the truth and their truth, if that makes sense. This person very much still operates out of the ego, you know. They're unaware of their own shadow. So it's more or less when you're dealing with people like this, anything that they say about you or anything that they see in you is not you. They're not really experiencing you. They're experiencing their shadow through you. But then at the same time, there's some sense of connection because they're still watching you. So there has to be, you know, some value that they see there, huh? Because if you really didn't care, they wouldn't be watching. But they're very much so watching. And I would even go to the extent of saying that they know this. And that's the thing that they're keeping away from you. I feel that this person is fully aware of who and what you are and your value. But it's the fact that they don't want to let you know that. They don't want you to know how they truly see you. You know? And that sounds like some power game type of stuff to me. I don't really like when I see people doing stuff like that. It's like you're the magician, but they don't want you to know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like this person is trying to assist in dimming your light. And that's when energetically the theme of that is getting into this whole battle that I see constantly going on of people of light being like a light in the darkness, and there being people who are drawn to them like a moth to a flame, and this person just has this insatiable urge to snuff out that light, right? That's a deeper spiritual battle that's going on. I don't think it's anything that this person would be aware of that they're doing, but it's almost like I feel this person, whoever they are, whether it's a partner, family member, whatever, they play a huge role in how it is that you see yourself. And if they don't approve of you, it's like you don't approve of you, you know? So I feel like what the whole lesson is to learn in all of this is your perception of self, your concept of self, free of anyone else, right? It's like me knowing I'm $100, and regardless of what I've been through, that's who and what I am, regardless of how other people respond. And of course, my favorite quote in America, which is, the way that other people treat you says less about you and more about them. You know what I mean? Because a person who is kind-hearted, a person who is loving, right? A person who is centered on the right, and I hate to say the word right, but for the sake of what I'm saying, in the right things, a person who's firmly rooted and grounded in unconditional love, they would never treat a person that way, right? So it's like you really have to consider the source, right? And start seeing yourself for the truth of who you are. 32 minutes. I'm gonna pick one of these oracles for you guys. I feel like I should. Then I'm gonna throw out the dice of resonance. And then we're gonna go over to Vimeo to take a deeper look into this person, because I'm very intrigued by this. You know what I'm saying? Very intrigued. And I have, I don't know, man. Energy coming into June is very interesting. I'm going to do something different this month. I don't know what it is just yet. I feel like Spirit is like testing me on some stuff. Like, do this, do that. Which one of them you trying to have me do? What is you doing? I'm testing waters and things. But anyway, let me get a card for my Tauruses, Spirit, and my cross watchers and whatnot, or whatever. Let me get one card for you. Oh, Panda. 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 Create a sacred space for yourself in your home or place of work. What I feel like this is saying most importantly, dude, this suggests to me reconnection, right? It's more or less cultivating a posture, because that's how I look at stuff that we do that are rituals, right? It's more or less, it's an external representation of an inward state. So I feel that you creating a space within your workplace or, you know, your home, whatever feels most comfortable to you. I mean, even if it's like a corner on your desk or something like that, it's like making a statement of designating this space for this particular thing, even if it's like for 2 minutes to just breathe for a second. I feel that this is more or less posturing you to start doing this within yourself. So it's more or less whenever I start to feel self-doubt, whenever I start to feel alone, whenever I start to feel whatever it is you guys may be struggling with, it's like checking back in with myself. In this space, this sacred space is now representative of the inner space. And I feel over time, it's like that particular space won't necessarily be needed, but it's needed right now until you become familiar with tapping into that space, right? Because that's how I look at all external actions that we're doing of spiritual things. It's not in the actual work that things are shifting, but until we get attuned with that inner world and that inner temple, these are statements that we have to do externally, right? Until we know them internally. So, for example, if you have a sacred space in your house and every time you walk into this, I don't know, war room, prayer room, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? Where your altar is, whatever. Every time you walk into this space, it's a sense of serenity that comes over you because you're in your sacred space. It's symbolic of this particular feeling. Over time, you grow to a point to where you can provoke that state no matter where it is that you are. So you become the sacred space. The sacred space becomes a frequency. It becomes a state that you can tap into at any time and you no longer need a room. You feel what I'm saying? So that's going to be the goal for the month of June, my sweet, precious Tauri at 36 minutes and whatnot or whatever. So that's been your reading, my sweet lovies. Oh my gosh, did I almost forget y'all dice of resonance? I was about to do y'all like I do Gemini. See that? Just Oracle card, throwing off the rotation. I'm sorry, y'all. If you want to ask a yes or no question, go ahead and formulate that now. You know what I'm saying? But this is the Dice of Resonance. It has the zodiac signs, 2 clarifying die, and the ability to ask a yes or no question in the event that, wait, what did I used to say? I don't know. Y'all ain't said it in so long, I forgot. In the event that you, I don't know. Y'all finish it below. My brain ain't working. What did I say? In the event, that you want to ask a yes or no question, you would pause me and do that. Y'all don't talk about me. See what happens if you don't use it, you lose it. I done forgot my whole Dice of Resonance spiel. I need to have something that like an announcer that just comes in and explains that. I'm going to be quiet and just throw the Dice of Resonance. So we have Gemini. We have Aquarius. The answer to your question is no. We have crush and we have Venus or female. So Gemini, Aquarius, crush, Venus or female, and the answer to your question is no. So now that has been your reading, I'm going over to Vimeo to get a deeper look into the inner psychology of your person of interest. If you're about that life, meet me over there. If not, I love your freaking face. And I'm going to see you guys sooner than later. Deuces.
Energy, about to get in and fuck up the industry.